Manchester United have a problem, and it's not a small one.
This is how Onana made Grimsby look like peak Barcelona.
Last season, the club conceded 54 goals in the Premier League, one of their worst defensive records in modern history.
They cannot get any lower than this, surely. This is the it feels like something has to happen next season.
Mid-table next year.
Week after week, fans watched helplessly as results slipped away, not because the defence was always outplayed, but because the last line of protection, the goalkeeper, simply wasn't good enough.
Looks first time, it's too close to Onana, he's dropped it! Jorginho!
Andre Onana, signed to be the solution, turned out to be the biggest problem.
It'll give Man United more confidence and more ability to play out from the back, and I think he suits an Erik ten Hag team, a real modern day goalkeeper.
Mistakes, poor attitude, and an endless highlight reel of blunders.
How can you ask for a pay rise because we're not in the Champions League, when you're the reason we're not in the Champions League? How does that work? Andre Onana, this will make you laugh. Andre Onana came back to Carrington wanting a new contract.
Altay Bayındır, his supposed backup, offered no stability. Either every time he came off his line, danger followed. Two keepers, zero trust. For a club that built its legacy on legends like Peter Schmeichel and Edwin van der Sar, this was unacceptable.
Man United have the worst goalkeeper lineup in the Premier League, and here's why.
100%. I mean, the fact they spent almost 50 million on Onana just 2 years ago, and now he's playing second fiddle to a 27-year-old unproven Turkish keeper who turned into Flappy Bird at the weekend, just says it all.
The ownership and Omar Berrada knew drastic measures were needed. On the table were three names: Gianluigi Donnarumma, Champions League winner and European champion with Italy; Emiliano Dibu Martinez, Premier League proven and a World Cup hero.
Forward by Konate, Colomboani! What a stop! What a stop!
And finally, Senne Lammens, a 23-year-old Belgian goalkeeper with almost no spotlight but data metrics that are off the charts.
Of him, and from what people are saying about him, I think he's a very promising young goalkeeper. He looks like he's already doing good things in terms of his shot stopping, his collection from crosses, which I wonder if that is a real driving.
And here's where it gets controversial. United didn't blink. Amorim and the board picked the rookie. They turned their backs on two proven world-class winners and put their future in the hands of a young shot stopper from Royal Antwerp. For many, it looked like madness, but United insist this isn't a gamble. This is science. Their revamped analytics department, heavily influenced by Jim Ratcliffe, identified Lammens as the goalkeeper who statistically outperformed not just his peers, but some of Europe's established names. Claimed crosses, he dominates. Shot stopping, elite. Handling rebounds, exceptional. Costly mistakes, almost non-existent. And here's the kicker: no goalkeeper under the age of 23 across Europe's top 10 leagues made more saves than Lammens last season. None. Even more, in an era where keepers must be playmakers, Lammens led all U23 goalkeepers in progressive passing. He isn't just stopping goals, he's starting attacks.
Ends in the middle of the pitch with the ball at his feet, actually just outside the box, again with his studs on the ball, which doesn't prove quality, but it does prove something about his mentality, his comfort, his calmness, his confidence on the ball.
So yes, the decision shocked the world. Passing on Donnarumma and Dibu Martinez will always raise eyebrows, but maybe, just maybe, Manchester United have found the next great goalkeeper. The one that could finally fix their biggest weakness. This isn't just about signing a player. This is about redefining the identity of United's backline. And that is why the Senne Lammens experiment will break the Premier League.
Okay, we've got probably the choice between two of the worst goalkeepers I've seen wear a Manchester United shirt. Lammens should be coming in to play. You don't want to ruin the guy's confidence, but at the end of the day, I think the fan base will be massively behind.
Manchester United are no strangers to great goalkeepers, from Peter Schmeichel
Forward, Williams flicks, Marston, oh!
to Edwin van der Sar.
First goal, very nearly supplies the second. What a save, son.
Their legacy was built on giants under the posts. But in recent years, the story has been very different. Andre Onana, brought in as a saviour, has instead become a liability, his catalogue of mistakes costing United point after point. Altay Bayındır, meant to be the steady backup, has looked nervous every time the ball comes near him. Between the two, Old Trafford has turned from a fortress into an open gate. That's why the club spent the summer looking at three names: Emiliano Dibu Martinez, Gianluigi Donnarumma, and finally the surprise option, Senne Lammens, a young Belgian keeper barely known to the wider world. And yet, United didn't hesitate. Amorim and the board passed on proven winners to hand the gloves to a 23-year-old rookie. Madness? Maybe not.
Do United need to do a piece of business in goal in the next couple of days?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Without doubt. Have you seen these two? Are you asking? Is that a trick question?
I'm a journalist, Ian. I'm asking a question.
Martinez finished with 8 clean sheets, Donnarumma with 4, Lammens 10 clean sheets, and he wasn't protected. He faced the most shots of all, over 5 on target per match, and still came out on top. His saves average was brutal, more than 4 per game, higher than Martinez, higher than Onana, even higher than Donnarumma. His save percentage, 76.5%. Onana and Donnarumma barely touched 66%. Bayendir, the weakest of them all, sat at a poor 48%. With Lammens, every shot isn't half a goal, it's half a miracle. And with the ball at his feet, he's even more impressive. People said Donnarumma and Onana were modern keepers for their passing. But Lammens, he outshines them. Over 7 successful long passes per game. Onana sits at 4, Donnarumma at 2. This lad doesn't just save goals, he starts attacks. What about mistakes? Donnarumma makes some errors. Lammens sits at 0.13 per match, almost the same level. Onana at 0.12, Martinez at 0.16. Bayendir, a disaster at 0.29. The Belgian already plays with the calm of a veteran. And then comes the most insane stat of all. 18.65 goals prevented. That's nearly 19 goals that should have gone in, but didn't, because Lammens was there. Compare that to Onana, barely 1.5, Martinez, similar, Donnarumma, negative. So no, this isn't some blind gamble. This isn't just a kid thrown in because United panicked. This is a keeper built on data, a wall forged by numbers, a guardian who could finally bring back respect to Old Trafford. And if the stats are true, brace yourself, because the Senne Lammens experiment isn't just going to save United. It's going to be fundamental to Amorim's rebuild. Senne Lammens has arrived at Old Trafford not to sit quietly on the bench, but to raise the bar. For now, Amorim may still keep Onana as first choice, but everyone knows the writing is on the wall. With AFCON coming in December, Lammens will get his chance. And when he does, the Premier League will see what he's made of.
Senne Lammens is not going to be the number 1 straight away, so everyone who's expecting him to start against Manchester City, according to reports, it's not my information, but according to reports, he's probably not going to come in until Christmas time, which is absolutely gutting in my opinion. Gutting. Because for me, I don't think you can get much worse than the options we've got.
His greatest weapon, shot stopping. In Belgium, his post-shot expected goals differential was plus 14.5, one of the best in all of Europe. To put it simple, he saved Antwerp from conceding more than 14 goals that should have gone in. That is not luck, that is elite. Last season he made more saves than any other keeper in the Belgian Pro League, 127 stops, and topped the charts with an 81.4% save ratio. When attackers thought the ball was in, Lammens said no, and when the pressure hit its peak, he thrived. From the 7 penalties he faced, he saved 5. That's right, no goalkeeper across Europe's top 10 leagues saved more spot kicks in that period. For a 23-year-old, those are numbers of a seasoned veteran. His reflex saves made Belgium stop and stare. His style in 1-versus-1 situations will make Old Trafford rise to its feet. Lammens is lightning off his line, exploding forward to shut down strikers before they can even think. He closes the angle with such speed and aggression that forwards are forced into panic decisions. What makes him different from most young keepers is his body control. He stays tall, chest square to the ball, balanced until the very last heartbeat. That calmness forces attackers into the trap. Do you shoot early? Do you wait too long? Either way, he wins. And when the ball comes close, he calls back memories of peak David De Gea. Lammens spreads wide, using his legs and arms in perfect sync, the classic block technique. It's the same method cricket keepers call the long barrier, a wall, low and wide that leaves no space. In those tight moments, instead of charging recklessly, he stands a step closer to his line. He waits, reading every movement, buying that tiny fraction of time. Then he pounces forward, shutting the door just as the striker pulls the trigger. This is not just saving with reflex, this is saving with intelligence, with calculation. And it's the kind of skill that separates a good goalkeeper from the one who breaks the Premier League. His footwork is sharp, light, and always ready. When a shot comes, Lammens can spring left or right in a heartbeat, giving the illusion that the net behind him is shrinking. But with that aggression comes risk. Because he likes to step forward and close the angle, sometimes he is caught mid-stride, not fully set. In those rare moments, the Premier League's ruthless finishers will punish him. Still, what he gains from that approach often outweighs the risk. His courage transforms defenders' confidence. Last season in Belgium, he claimed more crosses than any other keeper, 44 in total. That is not just a number, it's a statement. When the box turns into chaos, when bodies clash and the crowd roars, Lammens steps into the storm and takes command. Lammens brings something United have missed for years, the courage to attack the ball in the air. Like Emiliano Martinez, he throws himself into deliveries, desperate to get there first and clear danger. That dominance could be priceless in the Premier, but it comes with a warning. Sometimes his aggression pushes him too far, leaving space for opponents to exploit. He isn't yet at the level of Martinez or David Raya when it comes to judging the flight of the ball, but the raw ambition is there. And as coaches like to say, it is easier to tame a fearless keeper than to teach bravery to a timid one. What makes Lammens even more intriguing is his distribution, predominantly right-footed, but calm with his left. He was one of the most active passers in Belgium last season. He completed 859 passes with a 76.5% accuracy numbers that rival midfielders, not goalkeepers. Short passes to build from the back, or booming long balls to flip the field, he can do both. And it doesn't stop with his feet. No goalkeeper in Belgium attempted more throws than him, often launching counters in a style that echoes Peter Schmeichel's legendary days at Old Trafford. But confidence can turn to overconfidence. In Antwerp's Champions League clash with Porto, he delayed a clearance under pressure, and it nearly turned into disaster. It was a brutal reminder that in the biggest arenas, mistakes are punished instantly. Still, that fearless edge is part of what makes him special. At 6 feet 4 inches, with presence, voice, and a willingness to command, he already looks the part of a Premier League goalkeeper.
Realmente sostiene. Uy!
Lammens isn't the finished product, not yet, but he is young, bold, and built for the modern game. United are not signing him just to cover gaps. They are signing him to grow into the long-term solution. Manchester United's plan with Senne Lammens goes far beyond simply solving their immediate problems.
He's a huge talent, obviously not experienced yet, but he said he thinks his style will be suited to the Premier League, big as well. That recommendation from probably one of the best 3 goalkeepers in the world, Thibaut Courtois, I'm taking that.
The truth is, this signing's part of something much bigger, something the club is calling Project 150. The vision is clear. By the year 2028, when United celebrate their 150th anniversary since the days of Newton Heath, the club must be back at the very top of English football. Omar Berrada first outlined this idea in September 2024, telling staff that the goal was nothing less than the Premier League title by that milestone year. He doubled down on it in June this year, saying to United We Stand magazine, why not aim for it? This bigger picture explains why United made such a bold call. Less than 12 hours before the transfer window closed, the board had a choice: bring in Emiliano Martinez, the World Cup winner, already proven in the Premier League, or gamble on a 23-year-old Belgian keeper with only 93 professional appearances, just 52 of them in the Belgian Pro League. They didn't even hesitate. They told Lammens to get on a private jet and fly to Manchester. Why? Because Martinez, as reliable and commanding as he is, will be 35 by 2028.
Martinez, World Cup winning goalkeeper, definitive moment in a World Cup final, knows the big games and how to play in them. Wow.
He's a good goalkeeper. He is. I looked at him at one point, before we had Real, I thought, ooh, how did we let that one go? He's got a lot of character as well. He's not afraid of any opposition. He does it exactly. I have to say, yeah, you look at it and you go, that's not a bad shot. Eh? At least during this moment anyway, I think he's better than Onana, if I'm to be really honest with you, and it's not a shot.
Donnarumma, another option, would also not have been a long-term project piece, despite his Champions League medal. Lammens, on the other hand, will be 26 in 2028, entering the prime of his career. This is not about choosing the most famous name. It is about building for a dynasty. Club data analysis, something Sir Jim Ratcliffe has demanded be improved, was key. In every critical metric, Lammens stood out. Crosses claimed, shot stopping, rebounds prevented, and mistakes avoided. He made more saves than any other goalkeeper across Europe's top 10 leagues last season. He produced more progressive passes than any goalkeeper under 23, and his record in penalties was unmatched, saving more than any keeper in Europe's top leagues. These are not numbers of a backup. These are numbers of a future leader. In the statement announcing his arrival, Director of Football Jason Wilcox made it clear that Lammens was wanted by a number of clubs. United acted quickly, knowing this was a rare chance to grab a goalkeeper who ticked all the boxes of their project. Of course, there are risks. Lammens only has one Champions League appearance. He has been named in the Belgium senior squad, but has yet to win a full cap. Compared to the experience of Martinez or Donnarumma, the gap is obvious. But United are betting on the future, not the past. It is a strategy consistent with other decisions. Just as they chose Benjamin Sesko over Ollie Watkins, they are willing to take short-term risks for long-term dominance. The key difference is that up front, United already signed 2 proven Premier League players in Cunha and Mbeumo. In goal, after the constant disasters of Onana and Baindia, they needed something different, and that's why they pulled the trigger on Lammens. The Belgian himself was eager to make the move. Negotiations restarted in the final week, and by Monday morning the deal was signed. Sources close to the club confirm that legends like Thibaut Courtois and Simon Mignolet personally rate him very highly. Courtois called him a natural shot stopper, while Antwerp insiders describe him as proactive, brave, and gifted with his feet. The reality is that United fans will have to wait and see who Amorim chooses as his first choice keeper. Onana and Baindia could still be moved on, with interest from clubs in Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Greece and beyond. But one thing is certain, Senne Lammens is not just another signing. He is a cornerstone of Project 150. He represents belief in data, in potential, and in a future where Manchester United rise again. When Old Trafford celebrates 150 years in 2028, the hope is that Lammens will be at his peak, standing tall as United's #1, leading a team built to conquer England once more. This is the master plan, this is the gamble, and this is why the Senne Lammens experiment could break the Premier League. For a club like Manchester United, goalkeepers are not just another position, they are the soul of dynasties, the difference between champions and runners-up, between glory and collapse. Through their history, the Red Devils have always been defined by their keepers, either recruiting legends who carried the badge with pride, or disasters remembered for all the wrong reasons. I'm looking at you, Massimo Taibi. David De Gea was the last great guardian of Old Trafford.
Stanya chips it across. Inacho! Oh my word, save from David De Gea. The form that this man is.
In 12 years, he delivered 1 Premier League title in 2013, a Europa League, an FA Cup, 2 League Cups and 3 Community Shields. He won 4 Sir Matt Busby Awards as the Fans Player of the Year, a record only matched by Cristiano Ronaldo, 2 Premier Golden Gloves, 4th all-time in clean sheets with 147, 7th in appearances with 415, 3rd for most saves in Premier League history with 1,157. Yes, De Gea was flawed, prone to shocking errors, but he also carried United on his back more times than fans can count. Reflexes, agility, impossible saves, he was the last line of defence, and often the only one.
You know something? If you're talking about Baindia and Onana, I would bring De Gea back. You know, they moved De Gea on because of like his feet or whatever it is. Look what's happening.
His hands weren't great.
I'm serious. But at the same time, better than these two.
Bang average.
Better than these.
Before De Gea, there was Edwin van der Sar, calm, commanding, a wall of experience. With United, he won 4 league titles, 2 League Cups, 3 Community Shields, and the 2008 Champions League. He kept 135 clean sheets in 266 games. In 2009, he set a record with 1,104 minutes without conceding a goal. And in Moscow, he saved Nicolas Anelka's penalty to deliver Sir Alex Ferguson his 2nd Champions League.
Anelka.
Tall, intelligent, unbeatable in the air, and with the distribution of a modern playmaker, Van der Sar was the perfect foundation for one of the strongest eras in United's history. And then, the legend of legends, Peter Schmeichel, the Great Dane. 15 trophies, including 5 Premier League titles, 3 FA Cups, and the iconic 1999 Champions League that sealed the treble. Schmeichel was not just a goalkeeper, he redefined the role. Aggressive, fearless, with a presence that terrified strikers before they even shot. He was acrobatic, explosive, and unafraid to charge into one-on-ones like a warrior. He even scored goals, becoming the first keeper to net in the Premier League. Schmeichel was not only the best in his generation, he set the standard for what it meant to be Manchester United's #1. This is the weight of history. From Schmeichel's dominance to Van der Sar's calm to De Gea's reflexes, United have always relied on elite goalkeepers to win trophies. And this is why today, with the mistakes of Onana and Baindia fresh in memory, the club knows it cannot settle. To compete at the very top, to build a new dynasty, Manchester United must once again find a world-class guardian of the goal. And so we arrive at the heart of it all, the Lammens experiment. Manchester United are gambling on youth, on data, on potential rather than reputation. They turned away from the proven champions from Dibu Martinez, a World Cup hero, and Gianluigi Donnarumma, a European champion, and place their faith in a 23-year-old Belgian who is still writing his first chapter. It's a risk, no doubt. The Premier League is ruthless, and mistakes at Old Trafford echo louder than anywhere else. But the numbers don't lie. Lammens is one of the best young shot stoppers in Europe, a penalty specialist, a wall against crosses, and a goalkeeper who plays with modern swagger on the ball. History tells us United rise and fall with their goalkeepers. Schmeichel defined the 90s. Van der Sar restored order in the 2000s. De Gea carried the badge through the chaos of the last decade. And now, Senne Lammens has the chance to carve his name into that sacred lineage. If he fulfills his promise, we may be witnessing the birth of another legend, a new guardian who could stand shoulder to shoulder with the giants of Old Trafford's past. The stage is set. The question is not if, but when will the Lammens experiment break the Premier League?